Hello and welcome to the first video version of Tom's Top 5, where I will be giving you the top 5 pro wrestlers for this week in the great wacky world of professional wrestling. And without further ado, let's get to it. Boom, boom!
The Spanish announce table.
First up, we have the new leader of Retribution, Ali. Ali is the new leader of Retribution. This should be interesting. I don't think I've ever seen a cruiserweight lead a faction on a main roster with other guys who were not cruiserweights. So that should be an interesting point to see how they book that going forward. And it's also really good to see that Ali has some direction. You know, for the longest time, he was really interesting, had a cool presentation, but no storyline. So this is his first real storyline that we can dig into and see what happens. With Retribution, they've been floundering, not really making a huge impact, more of a punchline than anything else. But with Ali as their new leader, hopefully things will turn around for them. I am positive and patient. For longtime listeners, you will know what I'm talking about there. We will see what happens, but for the early onset of what Retribution is with the leader as Ali, I'm excited. Next, we have the Demo God, Le Champion, Chris Jericho. 30 years of Chris Jericho. This was such a fun night. It was so cool to see all of the video presentations from Shaq and Fluffy, past competitors such as Lance Storm, some guys even from New Japan that he's been in the locker room with. And it was so fun to see at the very end the credits roll as he did every position, all 4 camera spots, producer, all of that fun stuff. Chris Jericho has been on a tear since 2017. This late resurgence that we've seen from him has been so entertaining. I've just enjoyed everything that he's done, and for that reason, he has made my top 5. Another wrestler that makes my top 5, also from AEW, it's your new TNT champion, Cody. Cody had arguably one of the greatest matches in AEW's short history with this dog collar match against Mr. Brody Lee. It was physical, it was bloody, it was emotional. Post-match, he gave a promo that was one of his best in his career. I absolutely love this whole presentation from Cody this week, and for that reason, he makes my top 5 as your new TNT champion. Continue the list. Next up is Johnny Gargano. Gargano, I thought, was the MVP of TakeOver. He was awesome in his match with Damian Priest. He had a fun spot in the women's championship match with Io Shirai and Candice LeRae as a failed referee spot. He was very entertaining, and I'm really loving his heel work for his body of work recently as heel Johnny Gargano, and obviously from TakeOver, he makes my top 5. Rounding out the top 5, I have from SmackDown, Big E. My favorite member from the New Day and friend of the show, Big E, had a knockdown, drag-out war with Sheamus. It was so cool. It was violent. It was brutal. It was what pro wrestling should be, in my opinion. And it was a great, great match that he had. Later on in the show, we saw that the New Day will be broken up. We're going to see Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston head over to Raw. Big E stays on SmackDown, and I welcome this change so much. I'm very excited to see Big E get the push to go to the main event level, taking on guys like Roman Reigns in those spots for the Universal Championship. I am very happy that this move was made, and I'm very excited for the future of Big E. So that was my top 5 for this week. What did you guys think? Leave a comment down below. Obviously, do all the fun things as far as like, share, and subscribe. All the fun details they tell you about with YouTube videos. I will be back next week with a new top 5. And until then, keep loving pro wrestling.
The Spanish announce table.